Done introducing the event, I'll bring you guys up. Hello, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome to this very interesting conversation that we're going to be having. Hello, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. This very interesting conversation we're going to be having, and I have some of my friends joining us today to share on the topic that we have: personal growth for social impact. And it's an exciting conversation because a lot of the time people are interested in creating impacts in their society. You're interested in driving impact. You're interested in, pouring yourself into other people, finding problems around you to solve, but you do not know how to go about it. And so yesterday, out of Sherlock, my friends decided that they were going to, join in the conversation. I just sent them an invitation and they accepted. I'm really excited. I don't take it for granted. And so today we have the amazing Jesu Tofumi with us here today. She's going to be sharing her own perspective to the conversation. So basically, the conversation is about how they have, leveraged their personal growth for impact, right? How they developed the skill sets, the experiences, the relationship, enough to now translate into social impact. And so they are going to be sharing their stories, and they're also going to be sharing how they went from A to B to C to D and where they are right now. I see Jesu Tofumi smiling at the background. And we also have Seth Amazon. He's someone that you need to listen to. The same with Deborah or Nojeta. You know that when we bring people here to share knowledge with you, we don't just bring anyhow people. We bring people that have track record, right? Any topic that we bring these young people to share knowledge, it is because we have seen the work that they do, and we know that their story is going to inspire you to take, the next step. And so we also have Peace Ekechi, who just recently concluded her Canva masterclass, an amazing class. I was also there. And so these guys are going to be sharing their experiences with you, their stories, and they're going to share with you the framework that they have leveraged to be able to create impact in the society. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why this is important is because I know a lot of us say, when you see a problem, you say the government needs to do this, the government needs to do this, the government needs to do this. But the what we believe here at GoABitFurther Africa is that we all have a collective responsibility to change the society. And it begins with you and your little corner. What do you know that you think can readily impact, your community, your friends, your family? If we all approach life that way, we'll be able to create substantial impact in the society. And that's why we are moving for this conversation. So do not go anywhere. If your friends are not here, go and tell them that an amazing conversation is going on, and we have young people who are changing the narrative, sharing their experiences here. So go and invite them, share the link, get them here, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Right about time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, allow me make welcome the amazing, amazing people in the studio who are going to be sharing their experiences with us. Seth Amazon, how are you doing today?
Oh dear, fantastic. Thank you so much, Andrew, for bringing me here. It's so delightful. I see Janet. Janet, hi. It's good to have you
Hi.
here. It's you are really doing a fantastic job, really. I would say anyone who can see beyond their own personal needs and want to see how to be bring some kind of influence and impact other people is someone who has really overcome self. And there are just a few of your existing. Everybody wants to for themselves, and even if they try to help, they always ask, "What exactly am I getting out of this?" So I think this is a very important conversation you're bringing to bear, and I really look forward to a very fantastic conversation.
Awesome, awesome. So, Peace, how you doing today? Hello, Peace, can you hear me? How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sir Andrew. Good afternoon, Seth. Good afternoon, Janet. It's really great to be here. I am really, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Good afternoon. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Awesome. Janet, how you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm fine basically, and I'm super excited about the discussion that will be coming up very soon. We're gonna see it from different perspective, and I can't wait to hear what each person has to say.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So quickly, we'll just go right into the conversation. Like I was sharing earlier when I was introducing the event, you see that a lot of people are full of potential, right? They are excited. They have so much that they want to do. And how do you, talking to you, Janet, now, how do you find problems that are within your skill sets? And then how do you deploy your skills, your knowledge in solving those problems?
All right. Okay, first of all, how do you, I'll break the question. First thing is, how do you identify problems, right? And then how do you deploy your skill to solve those problems? Okay, thank you so much. That's a very beautiful question. You see, it's one thing for you to be very active. It's another thing for you to be actively doing what ought to be done. You can be active, you can be a singer and not sing songs that connect to your audience, or that don't you don't sing songs that actually that your audience will appreciate. So it's one thing to be busy, it's another thing to be busy doing what ought to be done. So how do you identify problems? First of all, from my perspective, what I do. Okay, let me give a little background. I've actually been on the online space for quite some time before I ventured into teaching at Creative Mastery right now. So a lot of persons have been doing what I am doing presently. But I identified a particular problem from some other person's solution. So how do you find problems? Look at the solutions around you. You have a skill, you're a graphics designer, maybe you have something you're really very enthusiastic about. What you should do is look at the solutions available. In that solution, or in those solutions available, in those available solutions, there will be a problem in that solution. Just the way we have internet today. With the coming of the internet, the we have a lot of stuff going on in the internet. Yes, phone technology has made life easy, but there are still certain problems in technology. So for you to be able to find a particular problem that exists right now when it comes to technology, you have to find the problem in the solution that has been that's already available. Then you leverage the problem, that particular problem in the solution, in the available solutions around. You leverage that problem to define what you want to do, define it. So then you have a solution for that problem. And then you utilize your skill just the way I'm doing. I found a problem in the available solutions around me. I realized that, okay, certain persons have certain skills which I do have, and they teach others, but there are certain things they are not doing right. So I leverage that. Even in my marketing, I try as much as possible to leverage that problem in their solutions. So by that, when people see that, they'll be like, okay, let me go for this. Then you use your skill, your available skill, to solve the problem that you found in other people's solution. Because at the end of the day, there is technically no new novel idea. What happens is we get ideas or inspiration from some other person's inspiration. So it's, for me, I find problems in other people's solution, and then I utilize my skill to solve those problems.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful. I'm really excited that you shared this perspective, really, because I was speaking somewhere. Excuse me. So I was speaking somewhere and they just, asked a random question. They were like, okay, how many of you here have, an idea that you want to implement and all? And someone stood up, was introducing himself, and then said he has an idea that nobody has thought of. And in my mind, I was like, Benny, what are you saying? You have an idea that nobody has thought of. And the point I'm trying to make here is that there are persons who are waiting to have an idea that nobody has thought of before they start to
Yeah.
do something. And I'm really excited that you shared this perspective. So I would like to hear from Seth, please. The same question. How were you able to identify a problem, and then how were you able to deploy your skill set in addressing that problem?
Fantastic for that same question, bringing light to bear on this particular issue. I like the fact that you brought angle of ideas, but it has to look to bring forth new solutions to the existing solutions. That's a very powerful one. So I'll start by talking about ideas mainly because you ended your speech on that note. I reached out to someone 2 years ago about an idea I and a friend were developing. We are trying to build a platform that will enable creatives to be able to earn money. And the strategy we actually put into place was we were trying to inculcate, artificial intelligence as at 2 years ago, artificial intelligence, and then people can be tipped as soon as they make their post. That is to say, whether you are interacting with a creative's post or you are the creative making the post, the both of you have a way. And so, looking at this particular figure, we saw that this guy has some kind of connection that will be useful. And then we reached out to him. I sent him a message because I had a direct contact with him. Like, sir, this is the idea we had. And he said that you send him a concept note of the idea, which I did. So, but his response up to me some thought about the idea. What he told me that said, ideas a dozen a penny. He says ideas are worth a dozen a penny. What that means is that ideas are everywhere. And you can buy a dozen of ideas for a penny. So that's to say ideas are nothing. And one of my mentors, Dr. Strive Matthew, I always celebrate about business. He gave me a very sweet thought about ideas as well. He said that if your idea has not started working, in other words, if you have not started implementing what you are thinking, it means that I don't want anything in the marketplace. Ideas are worthless on their own, except they have started being implemented one way or the other. So he said that if you go online anywhere and share any of idea, what you are invariably doing is that you are putting and becoming vulnerable to the market. You are just like a worm. Your ideas are like worms put in place of chicken that they can pick at any point. So whatever you do, so to the question you asked me, how I see problems and then bring out solutions. For me, it's that problems are the default state of man. As we
Mm.
are, there are problems everywhere. That's why we say problem no dey finish. Solutions you put in place always come. So as on a default, always with problems. What I have done is that I look at the many problems I have as a person, and I know that if I have any problem, if I encounter any challenge whatsoever, it's an indication that there are many other people having the same kind of problems as well. I give you a very fantastic example. I am a publisher. I'm a book publisher, and one of my core skill and expertise on Amazon publishing. I've been publishing for like 3 to 4 years now, mainly on Amazon. And I can say I've built so much expertise. But how did that happen? That's what I'm about to tell you. In 2017, I attempted to publish my first book after graduating in 2015 as one of the best. So I knew I was supposed to graduate with a first class because I say I knew because I know. You understand? So towards the end of my the last one of the last papers I wrote, I got a D grade. That was like the only D grade I ever got throughout my 4 years in university. And I tried my best to see how I could rectify it. I went to, you know, to the school, wrote letters, followed up to ensure that that thing was checked because I knew that that was not my result. Fortunately, cut the long story short, I was thrown out, like to say there's nothing that can be done. So I left. So I went back to the hostel where I was. I remember that very day. I lay down on the bed and I cried very well. And why did I cry? I cried because that year exactly, my state government was giving scholarship to every first class graduate. Anybody who graduated first class, they were giving scholarship to go anywhere in the world. So I felt that I have missed the opportunity that was gone. So I cried, but while I was crying, I heard a voice, which I now later realized that it was speaking to me. He asked me a question. He said, "This thing you are crying over, this is what you are crying over. Who actually worked and got it?" I said, "Me." You know, the question say, going forward, do you want to allow your entire life to be based on this paper that somebody else gave, or based on what you have inside that you can bring out? I wiped up my eyes from that point, and I knew that I had something bigger than that certificate I thought I had missed. So going forward, I now said, okay, since I knew I got this grade based on the strategies I followed, I knew I followed. Now, there are many other people who are going to come after me that will pass through this same school, maybe not my exact same school, but pass through the school system, and they find it difficult to really get good grades. And that dawned on me, and I wrote a book. And that book was titled at that time, You Too Can Excel. If you see, maybe you follow my post online, you will see me always writing You Too Can Excel. That is the story behind that. You understand? So I wrote that book has not been published up to now because of some reasons. But as time went on, I wrote another book which I eventually published titled School is Not a Do or Die Affair. School is not a do or die affair. How to study effectively and learn good grades at school. So I turned that painful experience, I turned that pain I experienced back in school into a book. I laid down specific strategies that any students can, you know, walk through and also learn good grades in school. And I didn't stop there. I also created a community. And as at then, I was sitting on WhatsApp every Friday. I will go online. I will be sharing knowledge, teaching students on WhatsApp. The community grew, I think, about up to 500% in like in 2 weeks. I extended it up to Facebook. I was making posts, and I eventually shared that book with over 5,000 people, or 5,000 students, both in Nigeria and outside. But that actually led me to what I'm about to talk about now. When I was trying to share that particular book, as at then, I didn't, the platforms like Seller was not available. I think that was in 2018 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So, or maybe I would say I did not know about Seller. So what I simply did was I was asking for people to send me their email addresses. So imagine you sending a book to up to 5,000 people through email. In that's to say that I was inserting emails one after the other, one after the other, one after the other to send to them. I got that, but that led to another problem. I was able to send the book, but I thought again, I cannot keep doing this for the rest of my life. So what do I do? That led to search. That's how I began to search. Okay, now that I have been able to share to 5,000 people, how do I automate this process so that even at night I'm able rather to also send this information to these guys? I searched and then I found Seller. I use Seller. Now I now discovered that people outside Africa were now requiring access to the same book. So what do I do? I started to search again. How do I get this book across? How am I going to get it to people in the US, people in UK? That's how I stumbled on Amazon. Now, for Amazon, I had no idea as to how the entire process worked. So I went to deep study. I was trying. I was unable to do it. At that point, I did not know the other strategies because people told me that the Amazon system was not available in Nigeria. So I had to go and learn from people who were in Nigeria. So I went to Amazon. I learned how to use Amazon. I started to
You're welcome back.
sorry. I didn't know what actually happened there. So people told me that Nigerians cannot publish on Amazon. So I went further to search, and I searched. Then I stumbled on a third party website that helped me publish. But before it was even published, there were a series of backlogs, series of failures. I tried to publish my book on Amazon. I tried up to 15 times, it was rejected. But the good thing again is that as I was trying and it was being rejected, it led to more problems. And what were those problems? Told me that since it took me up to 15 attempts, there are still many other people that will still pass through the same problems. And what was I doing? I was documenting every failure, putting their solution beside them. And that was how I was able to build expertise to say that there is no issue that you are going to pass through on Amazon that I don't have a solution for right now. Why? Because I passed through those same issues. So eventually, the book got published. I put it on Facebook, and a lot of people started contacting. How do I get mine up on Facebook? And what did I do? Converted it into a business, and that is it. So the whole essence of this conversation right now is many times the challenges we are looking for, the problems we think we're trying to look for, are the things we actually experience. So, how do we convert what we experience into solutions framework that can be useful to other people? Just think if you are thinking about if you are someone who is thinking about impact, that is really the best way to go. Sir Andrew, remember I told you that while you introduced me, I told you that anybody who begins to think beyond themselves is one person that set for himself of power, because at that point you are looking out for what you can do for other people, whether there is a reward or not, and that's one of the best states. So to end what I'm going to say for now, the process to go if you are trying to create impact, if you are trying to provide solutions to society, is to go through these three eyes that I always mention. Three eyes. I know it's something that you already know. A lot of you listening to me already know, but let me just take you through that part, and then I stop sharing. The first, of course, is impact. In other words, if you are somebody who is trying to provide solutions to the society, try to start from the point of impact. And what do I mean by that? Try to start here. You are thinking about other people's solution, other people's problem. How do you solve the problem? That's the first step. Then the second step is income. After you have created solution frameworks that has helped other people, you monetize those solutions. Then the third one is influence. People unfortunately try to look for influence without taking it, and they are reversing the natural flow of the process. For me, influence is a just consequence for impact, and when you have taking money from it, you automatically become influence. Check it. Anybody that is somebody who has provided enough impact in society, so he has been rewarded financially. That person becomes impactful, influential just at a click. These are my strategies and my framework. And I thank you so much, but let me let you speak as well. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Really, 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 really powerful. Really powerful. Really powerful. You guys are delivering masterclass content. Come on. Thank you very much. Peace, we'd like to hear from you the same question. How were you able to identify a problem, and then how did you deploy your skills, your experience, and then the relationship you have with people to solve that problem?
All right. Thank you so very much, Sir Andrew. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much, Janet. You shared a lot. I really learned from what you said, and Seth also. Thank you very much. What you said on identifying problems through your experiences is really profound. So, how do you identify problems? Speaking from my own experience, I would say the first step is self-awareness. I really like the topic we are discussing today, which is personal growth, social impact. So this topic, looking at it, it shows that personal growth has to come before you're able to make impact. So you cannot just wake up one morning and decide that you want to make impact. There has to be a process, that has happened in your life that will bring you to that point that you are able or you have the capacity to make impact. And for me, the first step, the first step towards this personal growth now that we're talking about is self-awareness. Now, what is self-awareness? Self-awareness has to do with you understanding who you really are as a person. So a lot of people will tell you that self-awareness has to do with identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, what motivates you, and all of that. So for me, I think for a start, someone who wants to start out making impact in their world, you want to change lives, you want to impact people, you start from the point of self-awareness, self-discovery. What are your gifts? What are your strengths? What interests you? What are those things that when you look at them, you feel pain? You don't like to see them. These things affect you really. And when you know yourself that much, when you have that level of self-awareness, that is when you are able to identify problems around you that you have the ability to solve. Yeah, so speaking from my own experience, that was it for me. I began my social impact journey, that was in 2021, but then it really amplified, or it really became more um, I got into it very much more in 2022, 2020. So how it happened for me was that I was shortlisted to go for NYSC and I was supposed to serve in Rivers State. So I was posted to a community school. Um, Between the time of 2020 and 2022, I have actually been going on, I've been on a journey of personal development, personal growth, self-awareness, self-discovery. When I got to the school, I thought that, okay, I'll just go there and teach the subject I was assigned to teach. But when I got there, I saw that a lot of things were happening in the school. There was lack of interest in the minds of the children in education. You get, so a lot of people, a lot of students were not interested in their education. The school was a free school, or is still a free school, so they don't have to pay school fees. But then these children were still not interested, you know. So that was a burden, there was a burden laid in my heart based on that. And I began to carry out outreaches, and sensitization programs to on the need for them to take their academics seriously as well, and also discover themselves so that they can also be necessary or um, important part of the society. So for me, what I would say is that the first step for you to make an impact, the first step for you to identify problems around you is first for you to know who you are, to understand yourself, to understand the things that really affect you, the things that you are pained by. You understand? So that's for me, that's the first step for me. Thank you.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Yeah, it's really exciting to hear all that you guys have to share, and it basically enriches what we are doing here at GoABitFurther Africa, helping young people see that there are young people out there who are experiencing the same challenges, some of the same challenges that you're going through, but they are not just relying or complacent. They are deploying their skill sets, their experiences to addressing an issue. And we think you too can do the same, because at the end of the day, when you give yourself to social impact, what basically happens is that you begin to find yourself, and then while finding yourself, you begin to attract, like Seth mentioned, and I think Peace also highlighted, you begin to attract income, and then people begin to look at you as someone of influence. You have influence over people, and so when you say something, it carries weight, you know and what that does is that it places more responsibility on you, because then people now look up to you, and so they are expecting leadership from you. And so it's really exciting all that you guys have shared today. I'm really excited. Phenomenal. Elizabeth Bassi has joined us live. And she has just highlighted something that P said. Say, first step to make impact and identify problems around you is self-awareness. So you need to be aware of where you are, because it's very important, because that gives the trajectory of where you are going to. Thank you very much. I want to hear from the worry mama. I don't know if she can hear me. Deborah, can you hear me? Network has been dealing with Deborah. Anyways, so while she gets that going, we're going to dive deep. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Okay, I think she's here with us. Deborah, are you here with us? Okay, we're just going to dive deeper. And so the conversation is, what are the challenges that you faced? So for Seth, you said so much about, you know, you identifying problems in your experience. And then it's really exciting, really amazing, because that's a perspective of a leader, right? You find problems, you solve that problem, but you're not only solving that problem for yourself, you're looking at, okay, if I am going through this, there are other persons out there who are going through the same. And it's really very insightful. Jonathan Issa. Jonathan Issa is on our case. Okay, since we have Deborah here with us, Deborah, can you hear me? Oh, Deborah is having network issues. Okay, so we'll just dive deeper, like I said earlier. So you just basically share with us. I know personally there are challenges that you face. Now, so I founded GoABitFurther 5 years ago. And when we started, you know, it was not easy. It was not beans. So at the point where we're going to start, I was going to do a paid training for 20 university students. And the training was basically going to show them, one, school is not scam, but the point is school is not preparing you for life afterwards. And so there's a way to approach schooling that would now prepare you for life afterwards, which is taking advantage of extracurricular activities. And so that was one thing I wanted to address. Another thing I wanted to address is to expose them to conversations and the skills that they need to start to learn. And so when we did that first event, there was no money in the account. I think I was in 100 level or 200 level. Okay, I was in 200 level, and I just designed the flyer. I did not have a team. I did not have money for it. There was no venue yet. There was no resource persons to come and share knowledge. I just designed the flyer and I put it out, right? When I put it out, every other thing just began to come together. And guess what? I waited 8 months before, developing that audacity to do that. Now, I know there are particular challenges that you have faced in your journey so far, and I just want you to just share that challenge and quickly share how you're able to navigate. So I'll start this time around with peace.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Um, the challenges I had. So I began an initiative which is Innovative Minds Network, which we began in 2021, and by the grace of God, 2022 our activities became more rampant. We were everywhere, going out to different schools and speaking to students. So, like I said, I identified a gap when in the school, students were not serious about their education and all of that. So, after doing those outreaches that we did, we decided to host a boot camp, and this boot camp was to last for 5 days. And now we were hosting children who live in rural areas whose parents are not well to do like that. So we had to host them for 5 days. So there was a transportation issue. In fact, so many things were in place, and apart from the transportation issue, we didn't have a lot of resources. I was just a core member at that time, and you know how much we core members earn. So no, there was limited resources and as well as personnel, to execute this program. But what how I was able to overcome this, first of all, I would say start with what you have and start where you are. John Obidi will always say that start with what you have, for what you have is enough. I didn't have a lot of people on my team. In fact, we were basically four people. One person wasn't around, wasn't physically present. So we're basically three people execute a 5 days boot camp where we hosted over 30 young children for an event. So I would say start with what you have and where you are. I started with my team. So we just began planning. There was no money, but we just started out. We wrote an executive plan, did wrote letters to schools, inviting the students through their principals and all of that. So we started, although we did not see the resources coming forth immediately. But along the line, the resources came. And how did they come? The second thing I would say here is that you should not be afraid to knock on doors. Don't be afraid to knock on doors. My mentor, Valokafa, will always say, knock on doors. Always knock on doors. So we had to start reaching out. We had to start reaching out to individuals. You don't know the particular person that would bring the biggest or largest amount of resources for you. So you just have to keep knocking on doors. So we reached out to a number of people. We wrote letters. We sent emails to different people. We didn't really interface with organizations. We were more particular on reaching out to individuals, like getting individual sponsorship. So we did that. We wrote letters, and in fact, 1 week to the program, we had no money. But that week, in fact, it was so amazing. I would say that God showed up. Yes, God showed up for us, and then we got our budget was what we got was way more than what we budgeted for that program. Eventually, because we reached out. So don't be afraid to knock on doors. Don't be afraid to reach out. Another thing I would say helped me also throughout the process of executing this program is mentorship. Get the right mentorship. So for you to go far, you need to be on someone's back, somebody who has done it before. So I had someone who had done it before, people who had done this before. So I went to them when I encountered these challenges. I would go to them, and although I would see that something very big in my mind, but when I speak to them, it becomes very little. The challenge becomes very little, and I'm able to overcome it. So that's what I would say. I would say first of all, start with what you have and start where you are. Number two, don't be afraid to knock on doors, because you wouldn't know the particular door that will open, and you'll be surprised at the amount of opportunities and resources that you're going to get. And the third thing I would say is that you should seek the right mentorship, have the right mentorship. Thank you very much. That's what I'll have to do.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So we want to hear from Deborah. Deborah, you're so we want to hear from you, right? And it's basically how you found a problem and how you were able to deploy your skills, deploy your experience, knowledge, and relationship to address that problem. Okay. So Deborah is unavoidably absent again. I think the network is okay. Awesome. Thank you, Peace Ekechi, for your perspective. Thank you very much for the contribution. You know, it's one thing to identify a problem, it's yet another thing to solve that problem and to commit to solving that problem over a stretch of time. And that's really one thing that young people do not have. So when we started GoABitFurther 5 years ago, we had a number of persons that saw what we were doing and wanted to, do the same. But today, many of those persons are nowhere to be found. How do you learn resilience and pull through? And like you have said, when you want to do a project, there are a number of elements that you need to consider, like you have said, mentorship. You have talked about mentorship. You have talked about being bold enough to knock on people's doors and share your ideas with them. Like I said, we designed flyer and we put it out. The funny thing was, people even sent me money from Abuja. Right? Some of my friends sent money from Abuja to sponsor students to take that training. Right? So imagine if I did not design that flyer and put it out. So there are a lot of people that would not be exposed to that knowledge. Now, there are a number of testimonials from that first training, but I have a particularly interesting one. A lady who learned how to barb, and she knew a lot of people know how to make hair, and so she added barbing to her own, and then she's now currently she has a salon, not just a salon like we know salon. A lot of people have salon, but she has a place where she hosts trainings for young ladies, and she has a brand that is creating solutions for young people. And so people go there, they learn. She teaches them her framework. She teaches them how to do the hair, the art of it also. And you see that people are able to take what you share with them, and they are able to convert that into a solution in the society. And it's interesting because imagine what would have happened if I did not do that, or imagine what would have happened if peace did not knock on doors, or if she didn't seek mentorship. Imagine the amount of people, the number of people that would probably be in a dark place today. And so it's very important. Thank you very much for sharing. Stephanie says people want to help you, but you must prove yourself first by starting. Very important. You must prove yourself by starting. I have persons who, when we were 3 years into what we were doing, they started to come around. These people have been viewing my status. They have been liking. They have been seeing my post on Facebook. They have been seeing my post on Instagram. They have been seeing me go for conferences to speak. But it was when we were 3 years into it that they acknowledged that, okay, this guy is serious. So you need to be resilient, start, and every other thing will fall in place. So I want to hear from Janet. She has been wowing me with her beautiful smile. So share with us a challenge that you faced, as you continue to develop solutions, as you continue to solve problems, as you continue to innovate on other solutions that you've identified. What are the challenges, the possible challenges that you faced?
All right, thank you so much for that question. Okay, basically, one of the challenge, there are lots of challenges basically, but one of the challenges, I think that's more like the primary challenge I face, is conveying my solution to others, telling them you have a problem and I can solve it. Okay, so sometimes last year I had a particular event, and the event was directed to persons who have trauma, who basically have some emotional imbalance. Now, how would you convey that kind of message to someone that, hello, I know you look so good, you're beautiful, but you need to attend this program so that you'll be able to cure your trauma? Like, it sounds insulting. Like, how would you tell people that? It basically challenges you telling people, hey, you have a problem and I have the solution. So one of the ways I have been able to overcome that challenge is by first understanding my exploitive advantage. So there's something about an individual who has an idea and another individual who has an idea, but the person has been able to identify his or her exploitive advantage. So I've been online, I've been doing stuff, and then I realized that, okay, some persons have a particular solution, but I've identified a problem in that person's solution. So I want to leverage that problem to build my solution and issue that to others that, hey, I've got a better solution for you. How do I tell them this? I realized that, okay, I looked at myself. I realized that, okay, I got some exploitive advantage. What is the exploitive advantage? Your exploitive advantage basically has to do with that unique part of you, or that unique quality of yourself that you can leverage in building yourself and gaining the kind of visibility you need. So for me, one of my exploitive advantage is pictures. I take beautiful pictures. So instead of me just going out and telling people, come and register for my class, come and do this, come and do that, I'll take my time, spend my money to go and snap good pictures and then post. So there is the tendency that instead of people scrolling my message or just, oh, and we know her, over familiarity. They want to take some time to go through the picture. And by the time they are going through the picture, they'll listen to my message or they'll have time to read my message. And if it's for videos, I realize that, okay, I speak well, so I have to use that unique part of me to convey the message. So conveying the message was an issue. Telling people that they have a problem and I have the solution to their problem was an issue. So I leverage my exploitative advantage. Another thing is collaboration. There's something they say, I think they say a closed mouth is close to blessings. I can't really remember the exact quote. But basically, if you don't open your mouth, just like Peace said, just to buttress her point, if you don't open your mouth, if you don't knock on doors, you're not going to have any door get open to you. But from my own perspective, it was more like me getting to some persons, my friends. I remember when I was to start Creative Mastery, I had a big loss from a class I organized. I literally put out this class out there, and technically close to some persons registered, but it was not as encouraging as I expected it to be. So I remember that very day I was washing I was washing my clothes and doing some laundry, and then I just had this nod. I felt like a pregnant woman. There's something about being pregnant with idea. I literally felt so weakened by this idea, the idea to organize an event where I will invite about 7 speakers and 3 panelists, and then we're going to have some kind of shows or discussion that will result into the present idea you see now of Creative Mastery. This idea was so much in me. So I just took my pen and paper, I wrote down the idea. So I called two friends, but at the end of the day, it was just one person that joined me. At the end of the day, I called 2 people, but one person eventually came up. So yeah, now this is the part of me telling. I said, first of all, I used my exploitative advantage. The second is collaboration. So I spoke to a particular friend and he bought into the idea. Now, aside speaking to that friend, there's something you need to understand in collaboration. People are in your life for different reasons and sometimes for different reasons. So I had this particular friend who was so close to me. I told him this idea. I did not stop at him alone. I went on to get someone who I've only met online. I've not had physical conversation with him, but I knew he had some value. So we spent the night talking on phone just because of the idea that I was pregnant for. And at the end of the day, we had creatives aflame, and from we were able to birth Creative Mastery. Now, the idea of Creative Mastery presently is not just me. I got the idea, but I got the inputs, I got the advice, I got the suggestions from some other persons I collaborated with. So nothing basically aside my exploitative advantage and collaboration. And that thing also is just do it. Just do it. And one other strategy that has helped me is giving people what they want so that they get close to you to see what you have. So sometimes some of us say, oh, I have a particular idea, I've found a particular problem. It's not just about finding a problem. The thing is, the people you want to give that, you have their solution, you have that solution to their problem. Do they know they have a problem? That's one. And another thing is, are they ready to accept the solution you have to offer? So fine, they now know they have a problem because I've been able to use my exploitative advantage to address the situation, to tell them that, hey, you have a problem. Now, are they ready to accept it? Now, there's this tactic of giving them what they want so that they will come to you and then you will give them what you have. Now, there's something I read sometimes while reading one of Ikanubi's book. There's something that confidence plays. There's a way you play confidently that people will get close to you because of the confidence you exude, and then you'll be able to give them what you have to offer. So let's say I had an idea of organizing, I'll use Creative Mastery. I had an idea of organizing a class, a periodic class, and these are the skills. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I had big ideas for Creative Mastery. I brought people together. I gave them what they want at a free conference. Everybody was like, whoa, I loved it. Of course, the conference was exceptional. I'm actually proud of myself about that conference. But at the end of the day, by the time I gave them my offer, most of them clicked. And of course, when I gave them the offer, I did not give them the offer at an exorbitant price. I kind of lowered the price. So it's more like, I've given you something. They kind of feel indebted to me. So they are like, okay, and when they feel indebted to you, human beings also like to have that feeling of, I'm using this person. or like, I'm gaining more than I bargained or I initially thought I would get. So when they came in for the free conference, I gave them creative mastery, or I offered them creative mastery at a discounted price. They came in. Then when they came in, they saw that the value at creative mastery is worth more than the actual price she gave to us. And she had already given us creative vaccine. Then they went out and spread the news. And that's the impact. That's what you get from investing in human capital. So it's more like you give people what they want, they get close to you, and then you give them what you have to offer. So basically, that's that for me.
Awesome, 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 awesome. The comment section is catching fire. There's fire in the comment section. Jesus Tofumi, she has set us on fire. Okay, awesome. So, want to hear from Seth. You have a unique experience, and I know how frustrating it can be when you've spent your time in university preparing, and it's now time for you to take advantage of all of that, and then there is a comma somewhere. And so I want to really understand, now that you have transitioned from all of that to what you're currently doing now, what are the challenges that you're currently facing, and how are you innovating your ways, out of those problems?
Thank you. Fantastic. Let me talk about one of the challenges I face entering this particular I am now. Then I'll tell you about
Just quickly,
what I
please.
experienced, and then we move. Okay. Currently, one of the major challenges right now that I face in what I do is working with clients. Yeah, I work with clients in and outside Nigeria. So those who are in Nigeria, many of them are usually not in the part of not really selling as they want to sell. The thing about books really is that when you work with certain authors, many authors see their books as a project, not as a business, and that's where the challenge really is. The thing about project is that you start the project, you start it, and then you have a timeline. When it gets to that timeline, everything stops and nothing happens. So for an author, they think of it as a project in the sense that they start writing the book, they bring everybody to get the book done. At the moment the book is published, to them, their work is done. Unfortunately, they do not realize that it is the book has even been published, that the work gets started. So, in that point, they stop the work and they don't make sales, and then they start complaining that they are not getting value for their money. So, many times it's a challenge. And as a publisher, my goal has always been to help to the devices of people all over the world. So, as we are going, I publish on many platforms, and one of the solutions I'm currently deploying is building platforms. We're currently working on platforms that will help, cope some of these challenges, that will help more authors, make a lot of sales to more countries. I have identified many other challenges with some of the platforms we use here in Nigeria. I don't want to mention, but some of the platforms we use here in Nigeria, there are some issues that are currently being experienced. One of them being inability of authors to get value for their interaction. So working towards building solutions that will help most of those challenges. So those are some of the ways I'm currently trying to, cope some of the challenges I face. Now, another issue I actually experienced while being a publisher was the concern of oversaturation of people who know. Recently there was glorification of everybody being expert in Amazon publishing. Everybody will go online. I don't know if you experienced that period of affiliate marketers, filling up the entire space with Amazon publishing here and there, telling you that they have all that it takes to and so on and so forth. That was a challenge that I experienced at the point. What I actually did was, since I saw that everybody was trying to claim to be masters in the act, I withdrew. at that point, I did not even say so much because I know that something that you don't have passion and love for, it just take a matter of time, you are out of it. So if you don't have enough passion for what exactly you are bringing as a solution, or you are bringing as a product to the marketplace, the hard times will hit you, and then soon enough you are out of the market. So what I did at that point was a number of people kept posting, but instead of also posting in a way to bring people to come and buy from me, I was instead giving people the right information. Why people are posting about how you can make $20,000 in 1 month, I was telling you that it's possible to make $20,000 in 1 month. However, you have to do this, and this. And I also tell you that even though it is possible, there are many other people who have never made a dime publishing on Amazon. So tell you what the fact is, what the reality is, what the possibility is. By that, you're me as somebody you can trust, and that way you get to work with me. One major thing I have actually experienced in the aspect of publishing as well is that I try to understand my strengths in the area of publishing. I started off as somebody who wanted to publish his own book as an individual. So at that point, I published the book up there. So when people started to reach out to me, many of them reached out to me because they either wanted covers designed, or they wanted their book edited or read, or they wanted an author's website, or they wanted something that is not really related to what I exactly know how to do. So like Janet and I hope I'm not out of this call.
No, no, no,
Okay.
no. You're
No,
there.
no.
Yes, so like Janet said, the idea of collaboration was now what I had to put into place, because I began that if authors now need book cover design, book covers created, and every other thing that I had no idea about, but I needed to provide those solutions, I had to look for people who are now good in that aspect, bring them together, we form a team, and we began to deploy these solutions. One thing I will leave everybody listening to me right now about challenges and way forward is that you have to be honest with yourself. What exactly do you see in front of you? Is this something that you can surmount? Is it something that you can really, overcome? If it's something that will overcome you, I would say that you be wise enough, or you be truthful and honest enough to yourself to know when to quit. When
Oh wow. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Okay. So I want to hear from Deborah. Deborah, this talk has been wonderful. So I
Hi,
want to
can you
hear
hear
from,
me now?
yes, I can hear from you.
Yeah.
I
Can you hear
can
me?
hear you
Ah,
loud and clear. But the question
thank you,
is
Jesus.
the question is what challenge did you find, maybe in your immediate environment, and how did you deploy your skills, your experience, your relationship with people to solve that problem?
All right, so what challenge did I find in my immediate environment? Okay, for a lot of persons I already know, there's this narrative about worry that I actually found. I actually realized that a lot of business owners, they just tend to be in their shell when they, set out to do a business. Some of them have this mentality that once I have a shop, that's enough for me. I can just sit back and and just do my thing, which was not supposed to be. And I actually looked at the way businesses were going in worry, and I saw that a lot of businesses do not even strive, for more than 1 year. After that, it's over, like they folded up and all of that. So I had to make sure that something had to be done. Although I've been thinking about it, but I just felt like it's not my problem. It does not concern me. Do your thing and I should just be fine and all of that. But then not until this year when it came really budding to me. And then I decided that okay, I was going to hold a conference, and that was where the Worry Digital Business Conference came about, right? So I decided to employ to find a solution to this problem. And God has been faithful because we have been seeing progress. Like for those who are in my community, the participants from the conference who translated into my community and all of that, they've been seeing a lot of progress, right? So what I actually just realized was, they always say that where there is a problem, there's money, right? Just find the problem and then people will give you money. But it was not the money for me, right? I know we all need money to do a lot of things, but it was not the money for me. It was, making relevant. It was making an impact. All right. So I had to bring in my skills. I had to bring in what I'm already doing, to see how I can bring the solutions to the people of Worry. And we've been doing great. We've been doing marvelous. Yeah, I think basically that's the current challenge I saw. Okay, I think another thing was, I also found out that for those of us that know Worry very well, you know that there are sometimes when you hear Worry, some parents are always scared to even come to Worry. Well, now you can come, just be safe. But then, there's this thing about in Worry that once they go to school, if they even want to go to school at all, they go to probably just primary, secondary school, and that's it. They will just disappear, and they don't see education as anything really serious. Of course, except for intentional parents, that would always want to, see how their children are actually doing very well in education and all of that. So I decided that, okay, fine, these kids cannot be roaming the streets just like that. Before you know, they've joined the bad guys, doing what they ought not to do. And so I also decided to use my skill set, which is also in the digital space as well, to also see how I can impact in these children. And that was where 21st Century Students came about. We had the first edition last year, December. I actually used it to mark my 25th birthday. And the idea was to actually, create a space or an environment for learning within these teenagers, and also teaching them digital skills, letting them know that even if venture due to some issues, maybe from your parents, if your parents cannot, further your education, you don't necessarily need to go to the streets. Let me put it that way. You don't need to be on the streets. There's something that you can do. So I have to make sure that I bring this idea to a reality, and I'm glad that it is working. I'm glad that a lot of teenagers around me now they should take their personal growth, seriously, and also, basically that was how I used, my skill set to find a solution to the challenge in my community.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yes, so Peace has joined us. Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm really excited that we had the time to do this today. I know it was very impromptu, but I'm really excited that you said yes. And I think that's basically what ties us together. The fact that we are passionate about the work that we do and that we are willing any day, anytime to come and share, to come and, put ourselves out there so that people can see that there are young people actually doing stuff. And there are young people who are not just complaining, but they are going a bit further to create solutions to the problems that they identify in their communities. And I'm really excited that we had the opportunity to do this today. So at this juncture, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the team, on behalf of the community at GoABitFurther Africa, and we look forward to having more exciting conversations in the coming years. And if you have maybe a program or you have, something that you think would be beneficial to our community, please, in the next 1 minute, you're going to pitch that into us. And then we're also going to give you a link to our community where you can also share that with them. So starting with Deborah. Your mic.
Oh my God.
Unmute your mic.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Andrew, for this opportunity. I really do appreciate it. First of all, I want to say, I was just thinking, I said doctor.
Hey, Father Lord, you have done it. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm married.
So first of all, I want to apologize to you and
So
the
bad.
team. I'm sorry talking was giving me back. I changed my location because I had to go drop my pastor's daughter at a business seminar. She's even there currently, so I had to move somewhere else. So I think that was what was happening and everything just happened. Anyway, I don't even have anything to sell, but I think this is what I want to sell to people. This is what I want to pitch to you. I want to tell you all that you don't need to limit yourself to where you are currently. A lot of us actually think that because I do not have so much or I don't know so much, I cannot put myself out there. Trust me, it's a very big fat lie. It's a very big fat. I'm not going to talk so much about collaborations, networking, and all that because my colleagues have done that already. I could hear them say a lot of things about that. But what I want you to understand, just as Vivian is saying right now, be honest with yourself makes you sincerely. You need to be honest with yourself. And I'll tell you this for free that if you are not putting yourself out there, if you are not providing a solution to any problem that you know you can provide a solution to, then you're a bad person. Yes, you are a bad person. So please, wherever you are, whatever it is, whatever skill set you think you have, start. Just start. As you progress, you keep learning. I didn't know so much that I know right now when I started. But as I climbed the ladder, I kept learning, I kept learning, I kept learning. So of course it's continuous learning. You can never stop learning. So please continue learning. Continue learning. If you want to be part of my community, Worry Digital Business Community, you just have to send me a DM. It's not free. Yes, it's not free. But then the idea, like I said, is to help business owners see how they can leverage digital space, to make progress and profit in their business. Thank you very much.
Yes, as my fellow consultant, if you have an idea, put your eye there. Okay, so over to Jesu Tofumi Janet Adeyemo.
All right, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the platform and the opportunity, and it's my pleasure having this conversation with my friends. I am sincerely
Same.
grateful. Okay, first of all, I'll just like to give reference to how I started spoken word poetry. I never knew I could perform spoken word poetry until a friend pushed me to do it. And my first attempt was amazing. I came first runner up at that contest, and it's a university contest. And that was when I realized that, man, people who do this don't have two heads. So what I'm basically trying to say here, or what I'm driving at here, is sometimes you don't know how far you can go until you get into certain rooms, until you have certain interactions. You don't know how far you can go until you try certain things. Recently, yesterday, I was talking to the owner of a blog I work for. And then while talking to the man listened to me because I had previously learned website design. So when talking to him, he listened to me because, okay, this girl knows what she's saying. So what I'm trying to say is, in whatever you have interest in, let's say you've realized that there's a problem in your community, there is the need for you to build yourself with certain skills that will position you well. You want to, even as a pastor, there's need for you to learn public speaking, there's need for you to learn human relationship skills so that your church members will not feel that, "Ah, what's this Baba saying? Every time it's God, God, but I don't understand what he's saying." So I'm trying to tell you basically is there's the need for you to learn skills. And this is me pitching to you my class, Creative Mastery. I teach public speaking, creative writing, spoken words, storytelling, and script writing at the class. So if you're interested, just like Deborah said, it's not a free class. It's a paid class. So if you're interested, there's presently a discount right now. There's a discount going on, but the discount increases with time. So if you're interested, you can send me a message and then we'll get talking from there.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Even the sound of your voice is it's like milk. Okay, so let's hear from Seth.
Okay, thank you so much, Andrew. When you chatted to me yesterday, I was like, oh, uh, But then, like you said, is what we do. So thank you so much for reaching out, and I appreciate every single speaker who are really shared this morning, now afternoon. I learned a lot from every one of you. Thank you for being here. So my last was just like just follow the trend. Is that if you are somebody who is currently trying to make an impact, the 3 I's I shared earlier are what I have coined to be the science of value creation. Start with impact first. Don't think about money. Money will come automatic if you give enough impact. If you are really impactful, if you share enough value, money will come. If you put money first, people will run it eventually. So impact first, income second, the influence will follow automatically. Trust me. Now, having said that, in the process of impacting your world, your society, there's one principle I learned from the Bible, and this is what I want to share with you as a parting word. There's a saying in the scripture that a prophet is not honored in his hometown. Trust me, it is what I'm trying to say is that if you are somebody who wants to grow fast and grow far, and you are just starting, stop posting and sharing everything you do and on your secondary school WhatsApp groups, all those groups that everybody knows you, everybody know you, everybody have been too familiar with you. You will not grow like that.
Yeah.
Be depressed and you will run away eventually because everyone will be like, is it not this person that we know? Yeah, which time you start to do spoken word, which time you start to write online. All of those things can cripple you. The best way to make progress fast is to go to the place that you are not known. For instance, start posting on platforms that nobody know you there. Your value will be more appreciated. There's the same.
Yeah.
You go to be celebrated, nowhere you are tolerated. So in the platform that people don't know you, it is easy for them to start relating with you from that point onwards. Nobody care about your past, and that is the best way to progress. You can charge them because they will interact with what they are seeing at that point, and then begin to continue to flow with you. But if you say you want to keep posting on your WhatsApp status because you are getting 100 views, you are wasting your time. The time you post and you say buy, even if it's 500 naira, nobody will buy. So that is my take and my advice for anybody who is currently starting. If you follow that route, trust me, you will make faster progress. Then about programs, well, for a while now, I've stopped doing any group trainings for personal reasons because I've gotten so busy. However, I do one-on-one trainings, especially if you're somebody who has an idea and you are looking at not just sharing that idea with your village people. You want to go global. You want to ensure that this idea you have enters the hands and devices of people all around the world. I'm the person you should talk to. Let's get you started. I'll help you refine your ideas, put them into product forms that will give you passive profit for a lifetime. Yes, if you want to keep making profits for a lifetime using digital assets and products, speak to me. We'll get everything set up. But just to start off, I have a YouTube channel. The channel is Set Amazon. Just go to Set Amazon on YouTube. You will see the many videos I share just to also follow my own strategies. I have been giving a lot of value for free on YouTube. In fact, if you go to YouTube, you can literally learn how to publish on Amazon from start to finish if you follow through. But then I know that after doing that, you will still come back to me and I will charge you. So that's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So what do we give to before I bring up peace, Ekechi? What do we give to the best engaged, the most engaged participants? I see Stephanie, I see Rebecca, I see Vivian, I see Chinenye, I see Elizabeth Bassi, I see Matthias Iogbe, I see Olufunsho Adegboye. Who else? Who else? Who else? I see Shalom Peters. I see Goshen Graphics Creative Studio. I'm suspecting that Goshen Graphics Creative Studio is Jesu Tofumi. Is
No, no.
affiliated to Jesu
No.
Creative. I see Festus Abigail. I see Solomon Okeke. I see Jonathan, Isa, I see you else, else. Amazing. I see Chinon, so I'm okay. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Stephanie. I think Stephanie is the most engaged, the most engaging participant. I want to say congratulations. Well done. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. And so, to Peace Ekechi. Oh, see, Paul is here. We see you too, Mr. Paul.
Presido.
If you have an idea, you put your idea.
Then,
Okay, so over to thank you very much, Mr. Paul. So over to Peace Ekechi. Um, your last, not your last words, a few words, and then something they're currently working on that you think would be beneficial to our community.
all right. I'll start by thanking you so much for this opportunity to share with amazing minds here, Janet, Seth, Deborah. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for the privilege. So I'll wrap up by saying I started earlier with self-awareness, that for you to identify a problem and for you to be a person of impact, you need to start from self-awareness. So what do you do after discovering yourself? You begin to develop yourself. You begin to commit yourself to the process of learning. There's something that Dr. Linus said one time and it was really profound to me, and it was to become a to become you need to become someone great to do something great. So you need to commit yourself to the process of learning, so that you become that person who fits into the position to make an impact. The next thing I would say is about service. Every young person, this is a time when you should commit yourself to serving others. A lot of people think they always have the mindset that what's in it for me? If I do this, what do I gain? They don't pay attention to the fact that they need to serve others, volunteer. So try your best wherever you find yourself, lend your skills, your service, your time, in helping to build another person's project. That's part of social impact. You must not really have your own initiative for you to be making an impact. You can lend your voice, lend your hand, lend your resources, your time, in helping another person achieve their own goals. The last thing I would say is on leveraging relationships. So in my own journey, I've discovered that having and building relationships with those ahead of you and those at your own level, and even those who you are ahead of, would help you in a very great way in your journey to make an impact. So that's all I'll have to say. So I came on this call as a social impact strategist, although I do many other things. But presently, the project that I'll be working on, by God's grace, starting this month, next month, and then it will continue to January next year. And we are trying to establish a library in a community school. So that's what we are working on presently, and we'll be needing volunteers. So presently, I'm in the city of Port Harcourt. We're going to be establishing that library in the community, Rumokroshi community here in Port Harcourt. So if you're in this community, go a bit further community, and then you are in Port Harcourt and you'd love to partner with us or join us or volunteer, your skills, your time, in helping us achieve this, you can reach out to me. We're establishing a leadership and academic library. So we need leadership books. We want to donate books, you want to, whatever. So we would need you in that area. Thank you very much once again.
Awesome, 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 awesome. It was really nice interacting with each and every one of you. It was really an exciting time, a learning experience for me, really. And I want to say thank you for giving us your time, for giving us your experience, because it took you a lot to amass all of this. Thank you very much, Mr. Tofumi. Thank you, Seth Amazon. Thank you, Peace Ekechi, for being here with us. And thank you, Deborah, for being here with us. And I look forward to collaborating, to partnering with you, and to ensuring that your brand and the things that you do reach the audience that you are designed to serve. Thank you very much. And if you have any other, maybe because of the call, you probably did not think of one product that you have that will be beneficial to our community, please do well to reach out to me and we'll populate it on our platform. Thank you very much and have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
very
Thank
much.
right.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, we're really excited that you stayed to this point. Stephanie Williams, thank you very much. Rebecca, thank you. Thank you, Goshen Graphics Creative Studio. And thank you, all my amazing people who joined in from Dr. Linus Mentorship Program. I look forward to collaborating more with you to democratizing the knowledge and the skills and all that you do to the people that we reach here on the GoABitFurther platform. Thank you very much. You can do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed and also make sure you follow us on social media. You can look for us on all social media, Go a Bit Further Africa. And also do well to follow me. My name is Andrew Igbineweka, and we are always excited to bring you conversations like this that would put you in the right direction towards deploying all that you are to solving a problem in your society, because that's basically how you position yourself for both local and global impact. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day ahead.